Samson and Delilah, a story of strength and faith. From a conservative Christian perspective, the Bible is full of amazing stories that teach us valuable lessons. Today, we'll explore the story of Samson and Delilah, a tale of incredible strength, temptation, and the importance of trusting in God. Who was Samson? Samson lived in a time when the Israelites were being ruled by the Philistines. God chose Samson to be a judge, a leader who would help the Israelites fight for their freedom. God's gift of strength even before his birth. God blessed Samson with incredible strength. This wasn't just normal muscle power, it was a gift directly from God. Samson's mistakes. Despite his amazing strength, Samson wasn't perfect. He made some big mistakes that caused him trouble. Following his desires, the Bible tells us that Samson liked to visit Philistine towns, even though they were enemies of Israel. This put him in dangerous situations. Falling for temptation, Samson fell in love with a Philistine woman named Delilah. While there's nothing wrong with love itself, Delilah wasn't the right person for Samson. Delilah's deception. The Philistines, aware of Samson's strength, wanted to capture him. They offered Delilah a large reward if she could find out the secret of his strength. 3 attempts. Delilah tried to trick Samson 3 times, asking him to reveal the source of his strength. Each time, Samson lied or gave her a misleading answer. God's power, not Samson's. Samson's strength wasn't something he earned or built himself. It was a gift from God. It depended on Samson living a life that honored God. Betrayal and loss. Sadly, Samson eventually gave in to Delilah's nagging and revealed his secret. His hair, which he never cut, was the source of his God-given strength. Losing his power while Samson slept, Delilah had his hair cut off. When he woke up, he was weak and powerless. The Philistines captured him, blinded him, and made him a slave. Repentance in the mirror. Even though Samson made mistakes, the Bible tells us that God never completely gives up on his people. Finding strength again as Samson's hair grew back, so did his faith in God. He realized the importance of obeying God and living a life that honored him. A final act of faith. Samson prayed to God for one last burst of strength. With renewed faith, he brought down the Philistine temple, defeating many enemies in the process. Though Samson died with the Philistines, his story reminds us that God can use even our mistakes for good. Lessons we can learn. The story of Samson and Delilah teaches us several valuable lessons. God's strength over ours. Our own strength and abilities are limited. True strength comes from trusting and obeying God. Temptation and choice. We will all face temptation in life. It's important to choose wisely, and resist things that could lead us away from God. God's forgiveness and grace. Even when we make mistakes, God is always there to forgive us if we repent and turn back to Him. Discussion starters for families. How did Samson's choices affect his life? What are some ways we can resist temptation in our own lives? How can we show God that we trust Him? Remember, the story of Samson and Delilah is a reminder that God is always with us, even when we mess up. By following His teachings and trusting in His strength, we can overcome any challenge. Conclusion. The story of Samson and Delilah is a captivating tale of strength, betrayal, and redemption that holds valuable lessons for children. From a conservative faith perspective, through Samson's triumphs and failures, children learn the importance of obedience, wise choices, and the limitless grace of God. As they reflect on this timeless story, may they be inspired to live lives dedicated to serving God and following His will.